My name is Greg O'Brien. I am the CFO at New Star, and I've been with the organization for about 4 years now. So New Star is a 501c3. We provide services for people with developmental disabilities. We serve about 650 people, got about 350 employees, and we have a variety of services that we provide. We have group homes all across the south suburbs of Chicago. We also have day services programs where people come here for the day, and we provide all kinds of different, training and educational type programs, computer skills. We also have jobs where they work production, light manufacturing type jobs and get paid for that. And we have employment programs too, where we find jobs for them out in the community.
Okay, good. And so your revenue stream is basically coming from contributions, or is it state grants?
Yeah, the majority of our money comes from the state of Illinois,
okay.
Which sometimes makes things interesting, as you know. The money depends a lot on the politics and what's going on in Springfield at the time, and so it's always cash flow issues are always interesting, and but we manage.
Good. And so what kind of services do you need from Dugan and Lopatka then?
So Dugan and Lopatka provides our financial auditing every year, in addition to our HUD audits. So we have a handful of homes that we receive the money for that from HUD, and we have separate corporations that were formed because of that for those specific homes. So there's some interesting things that go on with HUD that Dugan and Lopatka has the expertise to help us with.
Okay. How does Dugan and Lopatka provide the services and when they come out doing the field work?
Well, so it starts long before the actual audit. We meet together. They come to us and say, this is what the next year is going to look like. What kind of issues have you had? What kind of changes have there been? Things like that. And kind of preparing for the audit that would still be months later. Sure. They'll give us a list of everything that we need to put together and get it to them in time, and then they come out. Usually it's a few days process, and there's a lot of just discussion, a lot of back and forth about how certain things are treated or not. There's a good discussion about what's to come. Sure. So as an auditor, there's always changes, and some that dramatically affect our business model, and we have to make adjustments. But as any good audit will always have those things included if there's something that's going to significantly impact the business.
So they tell us about, you started here 4 years ago, if I remember correctly. So we were doing your audit before that. So talk about how we develop our relationship as the CFO, and that's as basically being the auditors before you even joined New Star.
Right, yeah, so Dugan and Lopatka was with New Star before I was. But about 2 years ago, when we merged with another company, the board decided that they might want to see if we need a new set of eyes on the books. So we put out an RFP to about 20 different firms and received 12 of those back. We had an entire committee made of board members and officers that looked at each proposal, scored them all, and the plan was that we were going to take the top 2 or 3 firms, bring them in for interviews, and decide from there. And it was kind of funny because we did all the scoring, and Dugan and Lopatka was so much higher than the rest of them, we didn't even do the interviews. No,
that's right, 'cause you didn't even call me.
Didn't even call you. And, that being said, Dugan and Lopatka was also in the best tier for pricing. So it was there really wasn't a whole lot of decision after we saw all the proposals.
Yeah, so we provided a good service, and our fees were very competitive in the industry that you guys are in.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So what kind of relationship, I mean, we do the audit, and we do your tax return, and that's mainly compliance procedures.
Right.
What other kind of additional value, added value do our firm helps you with throughout the year?
Yeah, so for me, the thing I appreciate most with you is that, that very first meeting when you said, call me about anything. If you have questions, if you want some, direction, whatever it is. And, as the guy just starting out with the firm, and you had already been with New Star, you already knew some things, and I would call you, as you remember, quite often, asking you how things worked and the different, relationships between the different companies that we have. And so just that ability to pick up the phone anytime I want, give you a call. You made it obvious right in the front that this isn't something that you charge extra for. We're not being charged every 15-minute increments or things like that. So, when I first started, that was great. And then, as we looked at merging with the other company, that was also really helpful too, to just be able to call up anytime and say, hey, we just found out this, and how do we handle that? Or, the other company does it this way. How do we put the two together? As we, merged all our accounting procedures, you were helpful in either giving advice or asking good questions that led us to good decisions.
Open up a different avenue of pursuing something.
Yeah, had me think about things in ways that I hadn't before, which was great for us. So yeah, I think it's I think what it comes down to is just that relationship between us, and that I think not only do I get very straightforward and honest answers all the time, but that you have a really good understanding of our business, about our industry as a whole. A lot of what you do is see things from the perspective of other nonprofits, and so that's really helpful to get other ideas in good direction.